Hey design enthusiasts! Welcome to Next in Line Design, a podcast by the World Design Organization's Young Designers Circle. We're all about embracing a new mindset in design, one that's bold, innovative, and impactful. We're here to connect with the next wave of design talent and explore how you can use your creativity to make a real impact. Get ready for fresh ideas and inspiration from young designers around the world who are reshaping the industry. We're here to spark conversations, inspire change, and explore new ideas in design. But remember, these are just our perspectives on one big, evolving field. Please note that the opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official views of the World Design Organization or its affiliates. Let's dive in and see what's next in line.
Hello everyone, welcome to another Next in Line episode. Today we will be talking about living and working abroad as young designers. I'm Jana, I'm a young designer from Spain.
And I'm Başak, I'm an industrial designer from Turkey. And today we will be talking about living and working abroad as a young designer. With the graduation season coming up, we thought sharing our experiences will be helpful for each young designer around the world.
Okay, so for starters, let's talk a little bit about what do we do and where did we move and why are we talking in this podcast. As I said, I'm Hannah from Spain, but I moved to Australia 2 years ago and I spent there 2 years. Then I moved back to Spain and now I'm planning to move back. But I finished uni and I was like, I guess this is the time and I want to move somewhere. And for many reasons, Australia was like a little star shining for me. So I was like, yeah, let's go. So I packed everything, got my visa and moved there with no hesitation.
And for me, I first did an exchange semester in Italy and I really liked living abroad. So right after I graduated, I moved to Denmark this time to do a long-term internship. So why did we maybe go abroad in the first place? Maybe for me, since I had two different experiences about this. For the exchange semester I did, like I said, for the studying, I wanted to immerse myself in new cultures, learning a new language with it, and also making new friends. And this was happening all with my study place and my home staying where it is. So it was kind of like a safe way to try going abroad for me for the first time. And for design, I wanted to go out of kind of like the strategies and the structure that I got used to in my home university. So as much as I really enjoyed my education back home, I knew it was going to be like a different world when I graduated. So there would be different processes in the maybe like career life, I would say. So this would be like a prep for the design world outside university for me. And for the work experience, my main reason for going abroad was to explore a field where I'm like curious and passionate about working in as a designer. And Denmark was where I found the opportunity for it. How about you, Hannah?
For me, something I always wanted to do. I always wanted to move somewhere at some point, and I didn't do it during uni because of COVID. So when I finished, I wasn't sure what to do. I was like, yeah, I think I want to get a job and like start discovering what my interests are inside the graphic design world. But I wasn't like getting any luck here. So I was like, I think this is a sign that I have to move. In fact, I did some interviews and people were like asking me like, oh, you didn't like did a year abroad or something. It's like, no, I think I should do it actually. And especially when starting like a job, like when it's your first full-time job, sometimes the tasks you get, at least as a graphic designer, they're never that interesting or they're like more like, a little bit like easier tasks or like they're not the main project or things like that. So I thought, well, if I move, even if the job that I have is not the most spectacular one, I'd still be gaining so much experience and so much growth by just being in another country. So I decided Australia because it's like also I always been like curious about it. And there was like a visa for working there. And I thought also like, okay, I think it's good to move as far as I can now, because I can always make it shorter. But yeah, we also received a question about if we have any fears or doubts before going. And yeah, of course, like especially going so far, just like if it's your first time like traveling alone, there's always doubts on oneself. And there's always like this doubt of like, what if I go and I fail and I don't like it and I don't feel like I'm in the right path? Or like it's also some other like fears that I had was like, okay, in my city in Valencia, I have already like my creative circle, my contacts. I feel like I know how everything works. I know what to do. And like I'm gonna lose that. And if I go somewhere else and it's like starting again, it's like always scary. But once you move, it's like nothing like that. I feel like you're also so busy with like trying to survive or like getting an apartment or like discovering how to get somewhere, like how everything works in that city. There's like your mind just focuses on what's important and you forget about so many things that you thought were going to be like a main thing, a problem or anything. So yeah, what was it for you, Başak? Like how
Yeah,
did you?
I also like agree with you on like losing what I built here back home. But also another thing I had was kind of the feeling of losing time. So it was like about making, because I went right after graduation, it was about making a choice between staying here and focusing on one thing, like something, or just going out there and exploring all the opportunities. And so it felt like I wasn't really focused when I left. But in my experience there, I just realized that the exploration also leads me to something better, something I'm more passionate about to focus on. So that exploration also leads to something to focus on, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think we had some different experiences because I went through exchange and an internship, but you went there to find your job. Maybe within this, I can kind of first compare the study versus work experience. So the study was a bit more structured because when you go there, there is like a school, a curriculum, and that's, the school and university kind of provides you the social and academic guidance, the support. But for work, you kind of find everything on your own, arrange it on your own, and build relationships on your own. So it's, I think, a bit more difficult, but since you build your own path, it can open more doors, in my opinion. How about you?
For me, it was like, because I was seeing how other people was doing it in this country specific. And I think sometimes it's easier to just go to the place if you can, if you have a visa and all that. I think it's easier to just go to the place and let people see you and see that you're already there. You have no problem to get there, and like you have a valid visa to work. Or like, if I know it's not always possible, there's many situations, but sometimes it's just like easier to just be there and let them see you and then look for anything else. Like as I said, like I just like went with like 2 weeks accommodation, and then once there I was like, let's figure everything out, let's find an apartment, let's find a job, and little by little. And it's very scary, something like a couple years ago I wouldn't have done, but also because I saw so many people doing it that I was like, well, I guess that's just the way it is. I have to trust myself, I have to trust everything that is gonna work, and so yeah, let's just do it. But yeah, as I said, I think it's also important to be in the place, because to find opportunities in Australia, for example, I think it was really like I really had to put myself out there, go to meetups, not be ashamed of talking to people, asking, like just like knocking on the doors, like literally, like I would see like I would walk the street and see like for example, marketing agency, and like I would check their branding or stuff like that. And if it sucked, I would like send like an email like offering my services. Like I just like it's like seeing everything as an opportunity. Like because I think it really is. Everything is an opportunity if you see it with the right eyes. So I think that's a bit of the mindset you have to get when you're moving, and then once you find something, you can just like chill for a little bit. What about you?
So for me, it was like instead of yours, I had to arrange something before I went to work. But in this process, I realized that even though like I applied to like through online platforms many positions, what I saw was that there were some like companies and projects that I was more passionate about, and like if you show that through your application, I believe that they see that because I had the chance to intern with the company that was like my top choice in this process. And I feel like they saw my skill set and my passion towards what they were working on. So I think that's communicated in the application and in your background.
Interesting. Yeah, no, it's very interesting because I often, this is like a struggle sometimes when you can't get to the place. It's like, how do they do it from another place? So it's really interesting to have it here so people know that that's also possible. Like everything is possible. You just gotta really try to like focus on that as a full-time job, almost like or something. But yeah, also another question that we got is how do we feel being a young designer in a new place? Which is, for me at least, it was like a baby. Like, I think I had to pretend like I had everything under control, that me moving to the other side of the world was no problem at all. Like, I was just there, like, super, like, already, like, this was my home already. Like, you know, it's just like, you don't want to cause any trouble. You don't want to be like, oh my God, like, is she gonna like quit 2 months because she's not liking it or something? It was like, which wasn't the case. I actually like was enjoying a lot, and all that is just like, you know, you really gotta like make sure that everybody thinks that you have everything figured out. But also people see it in a positive way, that you're like went through all this effort, came to another city, and just like it's like they see this hungriness to learn and like grow and work. So it's good. It's good to show the energy.
Yeah, I also agree. I mean, and it's really like I also felt like I was a like much more interesting person there. Like the people when I went to Italy or Denmark, and people were really like in a positive way curious about my background and my story as well. But I also agree that it's very scary when you first go. Like I remember first time landing, like I was thinking, is this real and what am I doing? Like those were the like questions in my head for the first few days, but really like everything goes like your way over time when you go. And another thing is that something that I felt was the experiences and the skills you kind of develop in your home can really help communicate yourself like when solving a problem, especially at work. So something I saw was that the way I approach a project or like help someone solve a problem with my skill set and my background was much different than the people who have been like born, raised, and working there. So that also kind of shows that, I don't know, like you're capable, and shows what you are able to do there, which is like a nice.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we have 2 more like minutes questions left, so let's do a little bit of pros and cons of moving. Let's start with positive focus. I'm going to say a pro and then you say a con. For me, a pro of moving is definitely it adds value to your professional experience, but also personal growth. I think moving is such like a positive thing on your CV or even portfolio that like companies often ask for it. And it's like it really shows that you are willing to learn and like get new experiences, and like it makes you grow so much that like nobody will doubt that you're like a valid person. You want to go now?
Yes, and for the cons, maybe there's like a huge fear of missing out what's back home. Like, are you missing something in your like network back home, your friends, or any like opportunities about school or career? But once you go back, you come back with more like unique experiences, like just like you said. So you can always like catch up with what's going back home.
I agree.
I would like to ask if you could tell your past self one thing about this experience, what would it be?
Okay, I think it would be like, even if it feels scary and like it's like a big swing on your professional career. It can be also if you don't know how long you'll last, or I don't know. It's just like moving is like you don't know what's going on there. So even if it feels scary, like trust yourself and believe that whatever you're doing, you're making memories for your like long life, and you'll have time to come back, or like, keep like working and growing in like any way. Like, so yeah, I think also like when you like traveling and all that makes you like become a better person, because you just meet other cultures, and like all that also makes you be a better designer. So I would say like whatever you're thinking of doing, don't overwhelm yourself with doubts and like thoughts. Just do it, because you will never regret the things that you did, but maybe the things you didn't, you would. So yeah, that would be the thing I would say.
And for me, I think like if you have the opportunity as a young designer, the early years in your maybe like education or career is the best to try going abroad, because you like get exposed to so many different perspectives and see kind of all of the options on what you can do with like what you can do as a designer. And even if there's like a doubt or fear, everything falls into place once you go there.
I agree. Okay, I guess this is all for today. If anybody has any questions, you can reach us out. And thank you so much for listening. I don't know if you want to add anything else.
Thank you for listening, and you can always reach out to us. And as the Young Designers Circle, we're very crowded, so you can reach out to anyone you find interesting about this topic too.
Perfect. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Next in Line Design is a podcast for designers by young designers. We hope that you really enjoyed today's episode. We've got some really exciting conversations coming up that we can't wait to share with you. Every episode, you're going to have the chance to meet a new member of the YDC. So enjoy our rotating cast of designers, and feel free to reach out in the comments just to say hey, maybe to share some feedback, your story, or tell us more about the kind of conversations that you'd like to be hearing. In the meantime, make sure to subscribe to the WDO's channels and hit that notification bell so that you never miss an episode. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you back here soon with more of Next in Line Design.